The heck did that thing go?
Oh, wow. 10 seconds and it's already going. Wow. I'm stunned.
Impressive.
Alright, well. That was shockingly fast. Alright, cool. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to Tables of Taurus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. I'm your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and today... Wait. Yes, that's right. And today we shall be continuing the tale of shifting fates. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. I have two of these, so I was like, which one am I on? Yep. There we go. Alright. And unlike last stream, I have a 5-second delay. Booyah. I had a 1 and 9-second delay last stream. It was very painful. But hello. Oh, I should probably post extra announcements. Hold on just a moment. Hey folks.
That is a burden. I have just posted it in the voice channel.
Streaming shifting fates for the next 2-ish hours.
Interesting.
Hope to see you all there. Oh, by the way, good news, everyone. I now have a job.
So they got back to you?
They did.
Yay!
Today, while I was shopping.
Wow.
They sent me a message and was like, hey, we got your paperwork back. They literally, my paperwork is a blank sheet of paper because they looked at my background check. And I've seen it. It's blank. Took them 2 weeks.
Pretty sure that just means there's nothing that they can find.
Fault you on.
Yeah, I have literally nothing on the background check because I've not done anything. So it took them 2 weeks to look at a blank piece of paper. It's very funny, the steps you have to take. Anyways, they got the papers through, they got the background check, got the thingy. Government jobs are very difficult to get, but so now my manager, or the director of the library, was like, can you come in like the week of the 13th? And I was like, sure I can. Do you want me to come in earlier, like next week? And she was like, oh my god, if you could come in like next week, that would be fantastic. And I'm like, sure, what day? And they're like, the 8th. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do the 8th. 8th is Thursday, right? Yes. 8th is Thursday. And they're like, I can do the 8th, that's fine. What time? And they're like, opening, I guess. I'm like, cool. But yeah, so starting the 8th, I will start getting paid to be a librarian. Technically, I'm a library aide, but, yeah, same thing.
You have your foot in the door, and you can work
Yes.
up to a full librarian.
Yeah. It has only been God knows how long since I started trying to be one. Is the chat properly on? Yeah.
I mean, I see Ellie's post in there.
There we go. Why does that look so weird? That's so small. It is so tiny. Why are you so tiny, buddy? Do you need to get bigger?
More than just simply my Discord's been freaking out lately.
Let's go with the 25 font. Let's go with that. Okay, now we're going to do socials again, because really that's our biggest one. Kind of. That kind of helped.
Here's another potential idea. Are you... no, never mind. Unnecessary, don't worry about it.
Yeah, let's do, don't, that's the wrong chat. Let's do 30 fonts. Do 30 fonts. There we go, about 30 font now. Do you like a 30 font, sir? No. Okay, so it's just weird sizing. We'll go back to 20 font then. It's just weird sizing issues. That's annoying. Oh, sigh. Alright, okay, there we go. Alright. No, we're back sizing. Okay. Ha ha. There we go. Yeah, well, it's super tiny, but that's probably okay, maybe. I don't know how to make that better. So we'll figure that out at some point. I feel like we already have, but I just don't remember. Anyways, welcome. Unfortunately, Mashruna is not going to be with us here today because she has some real life stuff to connect to. All right. Thank you, server, for disconnecting me and reconnecting me. That's nice. Lovely.
Oh no.
Looked at VT at Foundry and was just like, disconnect, reconnect. I'm like, why? Okay.
Because screw us, I guess.
Apparently. The last episode, y'all were traveling further down into the deep, dark pits of the depths, the area below the slums, which is below the citadel, which is below the sun. And, so y'all went down to the depths. You guys found Rigor Mortis, the Dr. Rigor Mortis, I should say. And he sent you guys on a wild chase to go find his lovely sickle/scythe thing. He called it a scythe and then called it a sickle and then said it was basically a scalpel. So you guys aren't really sure what exactly it is or what it does. All you guys know is that when you guys came across this area, you found a gigantic myconid. Is it myconid? Myconid?
Myconid?
Yeah, a gigantic myconid who stared at you with a single eyeball, called himself a great old one, and then just kind of left you guys alone, saying, don't keep going further, and you guys did. So you guys continue going forwards. Why does this look wrong? There we go. Much better. Thank you. Sorry, my screen was being weird. But you guys continue going further. You guys found out that there was a massive presence of magic further on in. Oliver took a look and immediately had to grovel on the ground from sheer despair and dread, feeling his soul at that point. Bill saw the exact same thing and insulted it. This is what Bill does.
Plus that, since I'm groveling, it means that range attacks have disadvantage on the hit.
Oh, that's nice.
As you guys have advantage, but still.
As you guys look forward, there is a wall of myconids preventing you guys from getting to your target. So Bill did what Bill does. Pulls out how many Molotovs?
Seeing as I only have 2 hands, currently 2, but the rest are nearby.
Fair enough. Pulls out 2 Molotovs while staring down this entire wall of myconids who are standing side by side, intent on not letting you guys pass. And Ellie is blind. Because it's dark. Hi, Ellie.
Hello.
So yeah, what are you doing?
When in doubt and irritated, yeet.
When in doubt, burn them out, as I say in World.
Deletus. Up to 60 feet away, each one must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or take 1d10 and begin burning. Alright, so we're just going to do a collective roll here for the most part. And that is a bad collective roll. So you see this Molotov, he pulls out, I assume you light it.
Oh yeah, just...
Yeah. It lights, you throw it, it sails through the air, and Ellie, you can see this perfectly because it's the only light source in the entire area at the moment. It soars through the air, and you can see, directly before it hits, just a wall of myconids that you can see. It's just a massive quantity that are just kind of walled off. And you see, for just a brief second, a look of confusion upon the one in front before it just bashes the ball into its face, and fire just explodes everywhere off of, he strikes on the match pal and pants. Yeah, actually, that works. And it just splashes all over the myconids, and just fire starts burning and flaring, and massive gouts of flame starts popping up. It also doesn't smell that great, considering it smells like burning flesh of mushroom. Mushroom's surprisingly close to meat, weirdly enough. Yeah, so that was your first one. um, you.
Well, we just found
Is
out that the purple gas isn't flammable.
question: Is there
I
a
think
hole in the myconids
I
now?
think we actually dropped a torch down into the thing before we even came in.
It wasn't as dense as it is right now.
So, as you guys are looking
Fair.
at the mass quantity of myconids, which are now currently burning in flames, they're kind of like, you see a couple of them, like the bigger ones are just kind of standing there, just kind of tanking it for the most part. A lot of the smaller ones are fucking running in circles, slamming into the bigger ones' legs, into each other, just absolute chaos surrounding that entire aspect. It's only one section of the wall as well. The other ones seem to be standing still, intent on tanking it. There is roll me a perception check, Bill.
Okay. Bill, I need you to work with me here.
Yeah, 14. You can see that every now and again, because of the frantic running of these smaller ones, they are creating a gap every now and again. It's usually followed by them slamming their skulls into each other and bouncing backwards. But every now and again, there is indeed a hole.
Bill's gonna look at the group,
Mm-hmm.
look forward.
Uh-huh.
This is not a smart idea. And he's gonna run into it.
Oh, no.
He's gonna run
Oh,
into the
no.
hole.
Roll me a dexterity save.
Please, Bill.
Wow.
I
God damn.
have good
Okay.
dex.
That's a pretty decent roll. Higher than their roll. You are fucking dodging and weaving. I mean, you are just going through them. You are jumping. You're practically like spinning through some of them. It's almost like a weird impromptu dance that has no rhyme or reason. Thankfully, that's the best rhyme and reason for your kind of character.
Wait, it's without rhyme or reason, but it's like a dude builds in his element then.
Yeah. You're just kind of flowing your way through it. You guys are seeing like him walk up to like run up to the flames, and the flames are now just coating most of the area around him because the massive amount of alcohol that's just kind of like, it's not like a lot of alcohol considering only through one bottle, but it's like splashes of alcohol, like drops of it that just lit on fire all over the area, and then the burning flesh of the mushrooms and stuff. So you run directly into basically a wall of fire, and you're just carving your way through by fucking moving like a goddamn angel practically. And you actually do manage to get past the wall. You see a couple of the bigger myconids turn to face you, interrupting their own wall as you go on past. But you are now effectively past the wall myconids, with like 12 myconids staring you down. They're big, so they're slow, but they are all staring at you.
I'm gonna keep making I'm gonna look at them. Are they blocking my way to the
Oh no,
stupid
they're right
weapon
behind
that-
you. It looks like they're about to start running after you, though. By running, I mean slow walking, because they're literally 10 feet tall, but...
Well, that means they're big targets.
Oh yeah, they're very big targets.
And I'm not one for good ideas, so...
Oh no.
Yeet! As I'm just gonna keep running, but I'm throwing that behind me.
Oh god.
If you burn to death, you can't catch me.
Oh god.
Something tells me we're
Honestly?
not going to be able to follow him.
As you guys kind of look, and you do see a lot of the big ones turning to look at him, the wall of flame just grows infinitely larger. Like it's a lot of dead plants are on the ground at the moment, and now that they're shifting, they're like shedding some of the dead plants they grew out of the ground with, and so all the dry ass material that's on the ground, on their shoulders, on their heads, all the dry mushrooms around the area, the massive amount of alcohol that he has now flooded several of the areas with. It just all lights a flame. This shit's hot. Even from where you guys are standing, maybe 20, 30 feet away from the myconids, you guys can feel the intense heat starting to bear down on you. Yeah, y'all aren't going past that wall of flame.
Feels comfortably warm. I say laughing.
Oh yeah, you have resistance to fire, don't you?
Kidding. That's above game. I'm not actually doing that in game.
I keep forgetting that you have resistance to fire. You could run through if you want.
I'd still take half
Lee will
fire.
just
Half
stay
the
put.
I still take half the damage from the fire, but I'm probably not gonna die. Probably.
Yeah. You see a lot of the myconids, like the tiny ones that were running into each other. Yeah, there's many myconids that are running into each other now. Even the big ones are starting to falter a little bit from the massive quantity of flames that is just eating at them. Pretty much like at least 3/4 of the entire wall that you guys have faced has just caught a flame at this point. So it's like 12 feet of flames that is just licking at everything in the area.
Bill, what the heck are you doing?
I think he's going toward the weapon.
Nothing about this seems like a good idea.
That's why Bill said it
Just
was
like
a good
starts
idea.
flipping. Just like starts flipping through his notebook.
What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What was that, Bill?
Bill didn't say it was a good idea.
Has anything this group decided been a good idea so far?
No.
Do you really want me to answer that?
Bill, if I remember correctly, you have normal vision, right? Yeah.
More or less, I think.
Because yeah, you were mostly in if I have words, Ryotao, and then moved into Helios, and then dark areas.
Yeah.
Hey, so you have the most normal vision of everyone. Roll me a perception check if you would.
Okay.
Damn. All right. Roll me a wisdom save.
Bill, please, I beg you. Do something.
So you are able to find this object with incredible efficiency. Even though you can barely freaking see, it feels like you're being drawn to it. Like you're on a path towards it. And you do in fact find it. You find it relatively easily. It might also be the massive gouts of flame behind you lighting up your way ahead. Really isn't, but you know, Bill can make the argument. But you eventually find your way towards it, and the moment like that you really lay your eyes upon it, moment that you like really look at it, you have such an ungodly need to pick it up. Like you have the most incredible and unending need to just pick this sucker up.
Huh. Sorry, say that one more time.
Did I die?
No, I just need you to
Oh, you have an incredible need to pick this item up. Like it is eating at the back of your head, just gnawing at you that you absolutely desire to pick this object up.
Okay, I make one request before I pick it up.
What's that?
I light it on fire. It's been down here amongst this, and who knows what. I'm sanitizing this sucker first.
You're just pouring your fucking alcohol and then burning.
Yeah, I pour the alcohol and then just...
Let me roll something real quick. Alright, cool. You pour it on the thing, you light it on fire. For just a moment, the need to pick you up kind of fades a little bit from the back of your head. Roll me a wisdom saving throw again. Like, it kind of fades for just a moment. That's not really high enough. And then it comes back with a force. Even though it's on fire, your entire tiny brain is saying, pick it up right now, pick it up.
But the fire hasn't subsided. Why would I pick it up now? At least give me a second. I'll pick it up as soon as it's sanitary.
It's really gnawing at the packet. Actually, yeah, roll me intelligence save. Is Bill smart enough to really process that? Wow, I forgot you had a -2.
Yeah, I'm a -2.
Shockingly, you are smart enough that the urge in the back of your head is not forcing you to pick up the still burning weapon.
Look, we'll pick it up in a second, okay? He's not questioning the voice in his head. He's just like, but it has to be sanitary.
It does feel like it's your own voice in the back of your head fighting you right now, but yeah, you're just kind of standing. There's like a bunch of myconids behind you, burning to death, and you're just standing there, staring at the now burning object. And yeah, you just hear in the back of your head your own voice just saying, "Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up, pick up, pick up, pick up,
Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up, pick it 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 up.
It is really gnawing at you. Like, it is like physical pain almost in the back of your head at the moment.
Do it, 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 pick it up. You can hold it. You're maybe strong. Okay, we're not that strong, but we can do it. We have the dexterity fingers.
Hey Sin, you could probably flavor this as like Cat has to spell command, and if he fails, just say take.
Effectively, it unfortunately failed its own role to keep concentration.
Fair.
Even though it doesn't have concentration for command, it attempted to control Bill, and Bill's too stupid at the moment to be controlled. Sorry, he's too smart right now to be controlled. His survival instinct is prevailing over his desperate need to grab a now on fire.
He's gonna
item.
pick it up, but his brain's just like sanitized. You just burned a bunch of mushrooms. This thing probably has something on it. Let's pick it up here in a second. Let's clean it first. You know, be real nice to it before we come in.
Just burn all of the spores off of it.
Exactly.
The fire does fade after like 2 minutes of you arguing with yourself about needing to be sanitized until finally the fire kind of goes out. Oh yeah, you can pick it up.
Yeah, I pick it up.
Do roll me a Constitution save real quick.
Okay.
Shockingly, even though it's very hot, it's still somewhat cool to your touch. Like, you literally just lit it on fire, and yet it's cool to your bird fingies.
I mean, birds kind of have a weird. What is it? It's not really scaly.
Your feather
bird flesh
fingies?
be weird. I mean, not feather. You know how like talons?
Oh yeah. So
bird hands.
In your tiny talons, it feels somewhat cold. You can feel the heat radiating off of the blade because it's still smoking hot, but the handle that you're holding feels pretty much as cold as a dead body.
Well, this is pleasant.
Yeah. You just kind of hear your own voice being like, yes. It's like a droning almost. It's very unpleasant.
Cool.
So bad. It's just like the yes from what's his face from The Princess and the Frog, just as he starts his Friends on the Other Side song, or the Dark
I
River
got
side
friends on the other side. As you do that, you notice that a lot of the myconids behind you are now going into the ground. A lot of the smaller myconids are still running around on fire. A lot of them have just fallen over, burned to a crisp. But a lot of the bigger ones have just fucked off. They just went back down on the ground. You guys are also seeing this, Oliver and Allie.
I just imagine Oliver's like, oh my gosh, so nothing about that looks good.
I have a giant stick.
Great. Please put that down.
No.
Well, he seems happy at least. But I think we're cursed, is my guess.
You know, that would explain a lot.
I burned it. Don't worry, it's sanitary.
Sanitary is not what I'm concerned about.
That's fine.
You guys do hear a voice in your head. Very different voice than the many you guys have heard so far. Speaking in your head, it simply says, "Your path has been chosen."
Well, we're cursed.
Sorry, what? Just like looks down at the greatsword. That wasn't you, was it?
Oh no, that was not me. No.
But you heard
Hey,
that,
big
right?
mysterious
Oh, yeah.
voice.
Oh my gosh.
That was very unpleasant.
Nope. Well, there it went.
I don't like the sound of any of this. Let's just get this thing. Let's just get this thing getting taken care of and get out of here. I swear for the love of God, this guy. I better have more than just information for the crap we're going through for this.
But I don't want to give up my new shiny stick. I used Molotovs for this. Well, I mean, you helped me make them. I used the Molotovs. You helped me make them, so you can hold it once in a while when I'm ready for it.
Didn't we just agree to give this thing to the vivisectionists on the next couple floors up in return for information on how to cure this potentially apocalyptic disease?
That was your intent, yeah.
I can steal it back.
I can steal it back.
Nothing about this seems like a good idea.
So you guys start heading back?
Probably, and I probably would be giving an extra step or two of just between myself and Bill along the way.
Fair. I'll say Pocket will have stayed asleep. I might send her something in the future. Ellie, remind me of that. Not sure if I'm going to yet, but we'll keep it in mind.
So
yeah.
Sin, tell us honestly, were you planning an encounter right there?
Oh yeah. I was. But you know, when they roll that freaking low, you just gotta roll with it.
Some days you just gotta watch the world burn in more ways than one.
Yeah, Bill has definitely experienced that
start the
motif.
fire.
We didn't start the fire. It was only him. He threw the Molotovs.
The worst part is I actually do have fire starters, more or less.
But yeah, so y'all start making your way back. As you guys are going upwards, feel free to make me a Constitution save, all three of you.
Ah, crap. Where did... Yeah, just...
I feel.
Oh,
flattered.
slick!
Oh. So as you guys are heading back upwards, Oliver, you're completely fine. Bill and Ellie, you both feel the incredible need to throw up. Ellie, you do in fact cover the floor in your insides. It just
are you okay?
spews out of you like a rocket.
I really should have eaten breakfast. I just feel nauseous from not eating.
Yeah.
Wait, that doesn't generally happen from not eating. That generally happens for eating the wrong things, or... Did something happen down there? Did you inhale the wrong kinds of spores or something?
She's looking at me with an angry look.
That's because I'm trying to figure out why this was brought up.
Well, as you guys
I think I
continue
have an
going
idea above
upwards,
game, but-
the extreme force...
I think I have an idea too above game, but
Yeah, as you guys continue going upwards, it just starts to get worse and worse. Ellie frequently has to stop to vomit her insides onto the floor, and Bill is quickly approaching that point.
Yeah, I feel funny.
I'm...
Hey, Mr. Sickle.
You hear nothing.
What are you? Hey, so why is this thing important? It doesn't talk. just sits here. Should I just throw it back in and say forget it?
I
But,
wish that was an option. The vivisection, any alchemist or vivisectionist equal needs their sorts of basic tools to gather up the materials we use to make our potions and such. And I'd wager that that's his tool in that regard.
What's the normal tool?
Just holds up my own sickle. And occasionally a dagger.
Why do you vivisect people with these? That's weird.
No,
What is vivisectioning?
No, I just use a sickle to gather materials from plants. And vivisection is just mostly just the title given to an alchemist that's gone crazy. They let their drive have to gather knowledge, overcome their. I'll just leave it at their. They let that drive for knowledge overcome their moral compass.
A battle of morals.
There's a reason that most alchemists these days hold themselves to a series of basic rules anytime they're working with other individuals in their concoctions, amongst all their other practices.
So, it's like,
I'll just leave it as there once was a vivisectionist that had discovered that there's an elemental difference between a living person and a corpse. And I think you've seen enough of my tools to know how he figured that one out.
oh, okay.
Well,
That makes sense.
yeah, so as you guys are right about here-ish, Ellie, you start getting a massive headache on top of that, and Bill, you're starting to feel the intense need to vomit. You're all high enough that you aren't vomiting yet, but you're getting real close. Every time y'all keep stepping upwards, it just gets worse and worse.
Ah, crap. By the time I'd be all out of the materials for basic gut bug treatments.
Ollie, if we don't hurry up, I'm really certain you're going to be dragging me up.
Are you sure you don't want someone to lean on at the moment?
Do you have a snail?
That's fair.
I'm going to climb the snail.
You start getting onto the snail, and yeah, it's very slimy. It's very unpleasant. It is very
Better than moving right now.
true. So you get onto the snail. Mashruna wakes up briefly to look back at you before she just clonks out back on the snail again. The snail doesn't even seem to register your presence. Yeah, you are feeling so much worse. Moment you stop and laying down on it, it kind of like subsides for a second. But yeah, snail hasn't moved on yet, so it's just kind of staying there.
I just assume Ollie just like looks up at her as she's doing that, just like pulls out a small notepad and just starts writing up, note to self, make sure to buy soap when you get back to town.
If we make it back to town.
Good note.
Hey, how long till we get... where are we going again?
We need to return to the office of the... I'll just until further notice refer to him as the Knowledge Seeker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys are at least a
Dr.
couple
Mortis.
hours away of just pretty much a slow uphill incline.
Thank gosh for high constitution.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a rough constitution day for y'all, don't worry about it.
Thank God for plus 4 to my save.
So y'all keep going?
Yeah.
Unless we plan to stop for a rest. But something tells me it's going to get worse if we do that.
Oh yeah, let's just keep going.
Alright. All three of you feel free to roll me a constitution save again. Oliver with advantage.
Advantage? Okay.
Advantage that was needed. And yep. Well, you're surviving.
Another con save, correct?
Yep, another con save.
Let's see what Bill does.
Oh, no.
I feel funny.
Yeah, yo, oh, God. Yeah, y'all are climbing, just going up about an hour or so in. Ellie is just barely refraining from just continuing to dry heave over this snail. She doesn't look like she's getting much worse. Bill, on the other hand, Bill's getting so much worse.
I give up.
All right. Come on. I'm gonna try and pick him up.
All right.
That would be an athletics, right? Or
If he lets you pick him up, you're welcome. Just pick him up. Although his bag is quite heavy.
He's a tiny little kenku who's currently just flopped on the ground. He isn't resisting anybody.
I'm just
How
gonna pick
heavy
him
is
up
your
and
bag
try.
again?
Probably most of Bill's weight is his bag.
So it gives you a little bit of difficulty to actually lift him because his bag is relatively heavy, but you're able to get him onto your back. It's a little bit of a struggle. Ellie is definitely looking like she has a fever of sorts. She does not look healthy. She looks sick as fuck. And Bill, every now and again, I don't even know. Can birds throw up?
Yes.
They do have a gag.
Yeah, every now and again,
reflex.
Bill just starts heaving onto the ground.
Christ, that's another.
Yeah.
That's another infection I'm probably gonna have to solve when we get another rest.
So you guys are pretty much just now almost at Rhaegar's place. Feel free, all three of you, to roll me a con save again. Oliver normal, the other two at disadvantage.
Can I just take that one?
Considering at disadvantage, you have to.
Cool.
So done with you right
So Bill's pretty much unconscious at the moment. You're not entirely sure if
Yay.
he's breathing. You're very concerned about his health and well-being. Ellie, you're not sure if she still has food in her stomach. If she does, she doesn't anymore. Her breathing is extremely sporadic. Her heart rate seems to be going up based on her hyperventilation, and she appears to be pretty much a step away from where Bill's at, and Bill looks like he has a foot in the grave. They look real bad.
Oh, Christ.
I will roll for Mashruna, though, which she should be perfectly fine. Oh, yeah. Mashruna's just been asleep this entire trip. Not a single thing has happened to her at all the entire way up. As you arrive towards the place, I assume you start frantically knocking on the door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This all happened the moment Bill picks up the sickle. I want to get this thing off of our persons as quickly as possible.
Fair. So as you're frantically knocking on the door, once again, Mr. Rigor Mortis comes out of the door, looking all, weird and happy and such, until he looks at Bill. Takes him about 3 seconds to go from hello to fuck. Like, you see a
knew this was gonna
legit
happen.
look of panic in his eyes for a second.
You knew this was gonna happen if we found the sickle, well, didn't you?
Actually, it's because you guys went to the Myconits area with no protection, or face masks, or anything that blocked the pollen. Hold on a second. He, goes back
Just
into
like
his
points
area.
at the mask he's still wearing.
Yeah, you haven't been very effective.
Ellie barely lifts her face up and looks at him. It's like, fuck you. And then pops back in.
Yeah, he comes back after a moment with 2 syringes. They are very big syringes and very large needles. And he's like, alright, I gotta inject this directly into their spine.
Into their spine. Can't you just do it into the vein?
He looks at the needle. He looks
Isn't
at
that where
Bill's arm.
these sorts of things normally are injected?
Oh, normally, but I kind of have to put this right into their spinal fluid. Don't worry. It basically what's happening right now is that the mushroom spores are invading their nervous system and shutting down their body organ by organ.
That still seems like it'd be better to inject it in the veins.
I suppose you're right. Hold on a second.
Insight.
He runs back into his area and comes back out with a much longer and much thinner needle.
Oh my
There we go.
gosh.
All right. Now, where's
I
the-
went inside him.
Yeah, he looks at Bill. Now, where the hell are veins on this tiny boy? Where?
It's usually on the wrist. You can generally make them out with a couple of very simple tricks.
He's so small.
You should know that.
I haven't had to do a vein injection in years.
Oh my
Kind of
gosh.
starts patting Bill's arm.
Ollie, stab me. Do not let the doctor touch me.
I'm a perfectly experienced doctor. Don't worry. I just usually go through the neck.
Pass me that.
He hands you the rather large syringe. It's pretty much as thick as her wrist. Like, it's a really large syringe. The needle is thankfully small, but yeah, it's a large quantity of fluid. So, alright, make sure you get directly into her bloodstream or through her spine. Either one works. It pretty much eradicates most of the pollen. Fair warning, if her body has a bad reaction to it, I'm gonna need to stab her in the heart. Just so you're aware.
Excuse me?
Don't worry about it. It's only if she has a bad reaction.
Alright.
Just
Hey,
very
let's
angry.
Let's just make this quick. see a
Feel
hand
free to
roll?
roll me a con save. by the
Real
way.
quick. Oh no, I'm actually planning to roleplay this one out.
Okay. No, her roll me a con save. See whether or not she has a bad
Okay.
reaction. Yeah, you're welcome to roleplay it. Don't worry.
Can I see a hand real quick?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm actually going to quickly slap the back of it to try and reveal the vein.
Nice. You do manage to reveal the vein fairly easily. She does look extremely dehydrated at the moment.
I'm going to get out on my water skin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give it to her until after the injection, but I'm going to get it out.
Fair.
All right, just don't squeeze your Just don't squeeze your fingers into a fist,
Can
or else this
I
might sting.
put on something first?
Hmm.
I don't do needles. And she'll. Oh. Oh no.
I mean, I got a couple torches. I might have a chewing stick somewhere in here.
Yeah. I can't use my bandana.
I guess I'm
That's
going to
all
hand her. I guess I'm going to hand her a chewing stick, probably one of my herbalism
Yep.
kit.
And I will bite on the stick. All right.
Okay.
Stab me, doctor, and then I'll put it in my
I'm
mouth.
going to try and
Make it quick.
I'm going to try and lightly poke into the vein. Considering if you actually do that if you do it gently enough, and so long as they don't curl their fingers, generally they don't even feel it.
Just do it straight. That's not super good for you. You start having you as you are injecting her, she starts having not the best reaction. Her arm doesn't move. Her chest frame, on the other hand, she's starting to hyperventilate really hard. Like, concerningly hard. And the doctor's like, don't stop, by the way. If you stop, she may or may not die.
Are you freaking kidding me? He's just muttering as I'm just slowly pushing the fluid in through the thing on the back. I still don't even know what that part of the syringe is called.
I have no idea.
I'm just gonna call it
The
pump.
plunger, I think, maybe?
Basically, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I
Little
don't know what it's
container.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Bill, do the same thing. Normal con save, as he is just kind of awkwardly stabbing you in the arm, and he starts pushing it through. You don't have much reaction as she does. You're pretty much unconscious at this point.
Yeah, I was like, wasn't I unconscious?
Yeah. You don't even really feel it as he's stabbing you with a needle. You vaguely wake up for a second because he misses twice.
Yeah.
It's like, whoops, no, that's not the vein. Wait, hold on.
Oh Christ! It's not that hard to reveal it. Just slap the back of the hand.
He's a bird. I don't do birds very often. Back of the hand, stab. Oh nope, that's wrong. Hold on.
I said slap it. It helps reveal through discoloration.
All right, hold on. All right, birdie. Slap. Fucking just slapping your hand real hard. All right. Ah, there's the vein. Hope you're ready, birdie. Stab. He's not gentle with this, by the way.
Oh, Christ, I'm gonna have to heal. I really am gonna have to use some of the lasso.
But yeah, Bill
Help
momentarily
elixir on
wakes
him.
up, then passes back out, and then Ellie, you're fully awake for this as you're injecting all of it into her. And it does take you like a good 20 seconds to get all the fluid into her at a reasonable space. Roll me another con save, as all of it is now inside of your system. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Allie? Okay. There you go.
Oh,
That's
dang.
a decent save.
Not bad.
Yeah, so, you notice that her breathing starts to slow down. She stops hyperventilating. Looks like she's in a significant quantity of pain. But she does in fact bite through the stick that you gave her near the end of it. But so she is looking to be a lot better, no longer dry heaving. He's like, there we go. Ah, glad I didn't have to stab her in the heart. That would have been very messy.
There's a very high chance if you tried that, she probably wouldn't have survived. Slowly and carefully move it outward back again to make sure no further harm.
Alright.
And then I'm also going to proceed to hand her my water skin, as well as one of my health elixirs. So I'm going to cast Cure Her Wounds on her at
Nice,
first
nice.
level.
Yeah, so he just kind of like picks up Bill and it's just like, wakey, 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 as he's shaking violently.
Did that just not roll? Did that just not roll?
I
I
got
don't
click
want to be
healing.
awake.
I guess
Ah.
not. I'm just gonna...
I think if you click healing, it will do it.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, and I believe my alchemical...
And it's like,
So
alright,
gives a
cool.
bonus to
Well,
that.
your bird's alive, mostly. I've already
I-
dealt with one of these before.
So that was restoration of 10 HP.
Nice. Yeah,
Thank
she's
you,
looking
thank
a
you.
lot better now. And yeah, he just kind of walks over and just kind of dumps Bill onto Ellie while grabbing his sickle. Alright, so your bird's alive.
No. If you had me grabbing that sickle and holding on to it, Bill's hand is staying on it.
He's just
Bill,
holding you
Bill,
above Ellie at
please.
this point with his hand on the sickle and your hand on it. He's just like, oh, no, normally they let go.
Ellie is throwing daggers at this doctor and has her hand on Jackson's blade.
It's like,
Bill-
normally
Bill's
they let
blade.
go.
Bill
You wanna-
found it.
You want not just time. You've given me the debt. Let go.
Now.
No, let
No. No. As Bill's hanging on with one hand, he points at the man with the other. Why does this blade tell me to grovel? It's a blade. It stabs things.
Oh yeah, it
Bill,
does that.
Bill,
Why?
weren't you listening when I told you how a sickle works?
I don't grovel to a stool.
We're good.
Oh Christ!
Why does it tell me to grovel, sir?
That would mostly be because it's a very strong thing.
It's sentient, isn't it?
No, not exactly. See, it has extreme power in it. And it pretty much, it has so much power in it that it gives off of a an aura of sorts. And it essentially forces you to bow to its will. It's not quite sentient. At least not in the talking way. It's kind of fun.
I mean, I've been told that there are levels of sentience of just simply transfers an emotion to the mind when you hold it.
Yeah, it kind of does that. Oh, fair warning,
It's
Bert.
sentient.
Fair warning, Birdie. You're welcome to have this, but if you have it on your person for too long, it kills you. Just so you're aware.
Why the heck do you want this back then?
Well, how am I how else am I gonna be able to store it so people don't wander upon it, then keep it for like 2 months and then fall down dead so someone else can grab it?
So it's a weapon of death.
Kind of. It's pretty effective, honestly.
And why don't you just destroy it?
Kind of like looks at you and raises his
Sure.
eyebrow.
Surely, yeah, okay. This could probably do it.
So
Hey,
what
we
you're
could
telling me
potentially.
is this sucker's a magic blade.
Kind of, yeah. I'm not really sure
Bill
its
looks
properties
at
just yet. Haven't really bothered to care, but
Bill, if that thing rips your soul out, I can't put it back in.
So it's a magic blade. Neat! As Bill immediately casts a spell magic on it.
feel free to do a ability check using whatever your spellcasting modifier is. I don't know what it is.
Equal to
10 plus the spell's level.
the spell. It's a level 3 spell. So it's 13.
No, it's higher than level 3. Level 4 or higher, you have to make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. DC is DC. You don't know.
I know I'm using a spell level 3.
Oh, okay.
It's a 3rd level spell.
Yeah.
So it's 13.
What's that?
It's a DC of 13.
It's a higher DC in 13. For each spell, level 4th now. Oh, that's what you. Wait. Am I
You're
reading
reading
this
the
right?
higher level one. It's the normal one. The spell's
For
level.
each spell level 4th or higher on the target, make an ability check.
On a successful check, the spell ends.
Oh, okay.
Wally, I think that's you who has to roll that check.
I think so. How?
This thing's wording is weird. I think you just roll d20 plus your spellcasting modifier.
Indeed. So Sin,
Uh-huh.
assuming this is actually a spell effect, you are going to have to figure out what spell level it would be, and
I have
then
an
add
idea
that
for
to
the spell
10
level.
for the DC.
Yeah. I have an
where's
idea
my-
for the spell level.
I don't. How do I check my spellcasting modifier?
I think it's...
It should just be on
Spellbook?
your primary
Oh.
screen. Just enter your attributes,
Yeah,
or
it's in
honestly
Spellbook
anything. It
and
should
be
just
on
be
the
available at the
bottom.
top.
Bottom right.
As a bard, yours would be charisma. Just roll a general modifier or check.
Well,
I'd say.
It's okay. That's okay. Plus 6.
13.
Oh, dang.
Alright. You can't tell if it did anything. It just kind of like looks at you. He kind of looks at his weapon. Did you do something?
Why does this only work half the time?
It looks at you with legitimate confusion. He's like, what'd you do?
Dispel magic.
Oh. He then starts to jiggle you off of his weapon. It's like jiggle, 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 jiggle. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. Can you let go? Can you? Okay.
It doesn't want me to let go.
Hold on, let me... He kind of like looks up for a second. Da 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 dum ba da ba. Yeah. And he like jiggles really hard, and you can roll me a wisdom save real quick.
You could just do a sleight of hand check from the doctor.
Nice. Oh, he's not doing any sleight of hands. You feel the voice in your head just kind of fade.
Oh, cool! I can let go and just.
Yeah.
You see, Bill just open his hand and just fall.
You fall directly onto Ellie's chest frame. Bag and all.
Ugh.
Hi. Oh.
So,
I
fun
just-
fact: that
Why-
weapon wants you to hold it.
Ah. Yeah, it
Oliver-
kind of commands
Oliver-
people a lot. It's really
sorry.
annoying. I have to
game.
convince it to stop letting people do it. He kind of puts it into on his hip. It's been a
So
long
he
time.
just commanded a sword.
No, I
Can we-
just talked to it. Turns out, if you make friends with it, it shuts up after a while. Not actually talking. I don't know how to explain this without talking like I'm talking to somebody else. It's not a person. I think. It's been a long time since I've had a friend.
Bill, how you feeling? And Ellie, how you feeling?
Can I burn more of those things?
Ah, yeah, feel free to go back down.
If you do that, I'm throwing you in the fire, Bill.
Why?
Bill, I don't-
They tried to kill us.
Bill, I don't think my mask
True.
fits you. Bill, I don't think my mask would fit you, but it's also probably the only thing that might protect you down there.
I'm really certain that fire made things worse and what caused us to be even more sick.
Ah.
I don't
You're
know about
welcome
you, but
to
I
go
think
back
my-
down. He kind of turns around as he walks over to his door and leans on it. I've got all day.
Who said I have to go back down? There's a hole right there. right, where is the hole? Oh, we're too far from the hole.
It's like, yeah.
I'm gonna need a lot more alcohol for that, though.
Doctor, unfortunately, I don't think I have that kind of time. I do believe we had an agreement for the information for blast veins.
Ah, yes, that. Yeah, I almost forgot that you guys were here for that. Sorry. Again, it's been a while since I've had, any form of company. Well, he looks at the graves for a second. Aside from dead guys, I deal with them a lot. They don't talk back to you as much. Anyways, come along with me. I will show you what I can, and we shall endeavor to strive to greater heights, or we'll die.
Boy, he just mutters slowly, pulling out the vial that he'd been experimenting on for elemental components at that moment, specifically for the illness. I would assume it probably to be slightly cracked by now.
A little bit. And he looks at, ooh, you must be an aspiring creator just like myself.
I think we had this discussion when we walked in. I'm an apothecary
Ah,
using alchemy. I use alchemy as a primary means of finding new treatments.
interesting. See, I use alchemy to see whether or not someone will die. And then I also kill them. But those are rare occasions. Well, not as rare down here. People just kind of die when you come down here. So I get to experiment on them without anyone saying it's weird. Or beyond morality. Or cruel beyond belief. I mean, they're dead. How cruel can it be?
Ah, for Christ. Oh, for Palor's sake.
Anyways.
I would recommend not touching this. It contains an elemental makeup of the infection itself, followed by a rough combination of air fire.
Ah.
It would they will probably push against each other even more violently should the lid come off.
Mm.
I don't want to risk that.
Yeah, he leads you guys back into his room of sorts. And then he heads into the wall that you guys can't seem to focus on for some reason or another. Before coming out with the body slung over his shoulder, before he kind of just like slaps it down on this little bed, operation table like thing. He's like, alright, what do you wish to know about this lovely little specimen here?
Well, I know the elemental makeup I know the basic elemental makeup of the infection, and I know what to bind this thing to in order to get it into a more physical state, as well as I know the general nature for what to use as a base for the treatment. The thing I don't know, what is the refinement method I need to make on this elemental combination to make it the true opposition to the infection.
Ah, I see. Well, I don't really experiment with many potions very much, unfortunately. But what I can tell you is that most of the refinement methods I use involve distilling it and refining it. And so if you take, he kind of pulls out his sickle actually, and pulls out a tiny, almost like a bucket thing, and puts it under, like right at the edge of the bed, and then slices the guy's arm just a little bit, and just starts pouring blood into the bucket. Hold on. 1,
Ugh.
2, 3. There we go. And he like rotates the arm up again, and then he kind of waves his hand over the arm, and it seems to stitch itself up before he puts it back on the table. Alright, he puts the bucket right in front of you. I don't suggest drinking that. It tastes awful. What you can do with
blood.
that is...
Why would I? It's
Well-
blood. Why would I drink that?
No. You're a tiefling. It's not as bad when it's a tiefling.
I'm a tiefling of human heritage.
Yeah. Alright, don't let your goblin drink it. It tastes terrible. Anyways. If you boil this down quite heavily, pretty much to almost like a slag of sorts, you'll probably be able to get a chemical component in order to be able to mix it with some of the bits and pieces in that vial, and you'll be able to make a pseudo recreation of this item. Should be good enough for your purposes to refine it into something, you know, curable, but unfortunately, that's kind of difficult.
I'm just sitting there, just like giving him one of those. Are you freaking kidding me? He looks. Do you have an evoker or his lens I can borrow for a few minutes?
He kind of like reaches into one of the tables. Evoker lens. He like pulls out a small monocle. There you go.
I'm just going to examine the elemental makeup of this thing through the lens.
I don't quite recall what the elemental makeup I was going to have it be was. I know it's one of the ones that you haven't picked yet. Because I know we.
Oh no,
we
I was just
discussed
working
about
on primals.
that. Oh,
I mean, I
primals.
was just focusing on the primal ones. I'm trying to figure out what sort of. Honestly, you could probably just throw in any sort of basic name for some sort of twist on a basic, or on a balanced element. Honestly. Like the general concept I had originally come up with was just like necromantic energies would be a corruption on life, which is water or earth sort of thing.
Ah, okay. So I would say that this is probably a necromantic energy mixed in with a fire and earth energy, as well as it has like a weird side bit to it that you aren't quite sure what is.
Well, that's unusual.
Alright,
Most instances of elemental makeup I've encountered usually are oriented around the 4 primal elements. Twisted in certain directions can be done, but usually you actually see some level of side pathway for these. Is this some sort of what kind of modification to an element do you need to make something do that, I wonder?
He kind of like looks at the blood for a second before kind of like putting it, like dipping into his finger.
I'm just like holding out the lens back towards. I'm just like holding out the lens back towards him.
Oh yeah, that's probably more effective. He kind of like flicks the blood off his finger back into the bucket and grabs it. Oh yeah, no, my finger was right. That looks like some kind of god's energy. Probably. That's not Shard's energy. That's weird.
So now we're working with the divine.
He legitimately looks puzzled for a second. That's weird.
Wait a sec. Just like looking at his own hand. I swear to Paylor, if that's actually the way this needs to go.
That's not quite god's energy. That's close to Shard's.
I'm trying to find something to push back against it.
Maybe like smaller.
Honestly, if you have like some kind of life magic, dude.
Light magic?
No, life magic.
Oh, light flash magic.
Yeah.
Just like
some-
looks at my, just like looks at the herbs I've been using to make health potions. I was planning to use that as the base.
Ah. That would probably do it. Let me kind of like reach
I've already
his
done the experiment to figure. I've already done the experiments. I know which of the particular herbs pushes against the infection as it stands.
Ah.
I just needed a way to figure out the particular refinement method for the elemental, for the fluid element itself.
Hey, love, could you do me a favor and check Twitch and see if it's going through? Everything, audio and video.
Yeah,
Because
so
my Twitch
necromantic.
just kind of got stuck.
So
It is?
corrupted. So corrupted life element. I think that's
Yeah,
what this thing is made out of.
Um,
So naturally, you have to tend to with
my
fire
video got
and
stuck
air
on the phone.
energy.
Very weird.
Oh my gosh! He just like says
Turn that
his
down.
face pumping at the next realization.
Uh-huh.
I'm literally. If this actually works, I'm literally going to wind up essentially destroying an undead by feeding it a brain.
That's not the weirdest thing I've encountered someone doing, or the weirdest thing I've done. I'd say go for it.
I mean, to be fair, fire and air energy is kind of two of the more principal elements in how construction of a mind. I just can't believe I'm about to go and deal with an infection with that.
I mean, he gestures to the mic next to you. You do have an undead standing right there.
Wouldn't that have enhanced into the infection? It's necromantic energies we're trying to remove.
He shrugs. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, you
so,
want to learn more about this thing? Did you want anything that wasn't the hokey pokey alchemist magic thingamabob you're dealing with there? It's not really my forte. My forte is bones and muscle and organs. You want a brain? I got one right here.
no.
No,
I just needed to synthesize the elemental makeup of one, and I've already long since done that. Just looking at the fluid, air, and fire I've got left.
Fair. He kind of like raises the dead guy's arm and just lets it flop onto the dead guy's face. Never stops getting funny.
Yeah, picks up the bucket and starts looking at it.
Oh
So,
yeah, you're welcome
something.
to that.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Just like pulls out my vials and just like starts funneling the fluid into them.
It's like, I have more than enough blood to keep me going. Don't worry. That's all for you.
That's all I'm gonna be needing, and this is probably the most morbid treatment I've come across in honestly ever. I swear to Paylor.
Now I'm curious, why you folks the one down here doing this stuff? I expected, someone that wasn't a group of... I see a very odd group mix-up. I haven't seen a group actually for quite some time. I should visit upstairs once in a while.
I think it would do well for your sanity. It does well for one's sanity. I want to look into it.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've met with some of my friends.
Just maybe leave the sickle here.
I could. I would need to get my coat again. That would suck. It's been a long time since I've worn my adventuring outfit. He kind of like rolls up his sleeve. I spent so long down here doctoring, it's hard to imagine going back to adventuring. Anyways.
Maybe that's for the best. It's getting more chaotic up there.
Oh? What's the news, hip-haps, yo? As the chills like to say.
The war is coming. Again.
The what now?
Have you not heard about the war between the elves and the orcs?
I've been down here for a very long time.
Oh, Christ.
I mean, he's not alone in it. I only found out about it like a month ago, so.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's a war going on, is there? Does that mean there's a lot of dead people?
I really think you're looking at this the wrong way.
The only wrong way to look at war is to believe it's a good thing. Except when it comes to advancements in medical technology. It's pretty much the only good it gives you. Well, I guess in wartime technology, like weapons and armor and stuff, but,
My logic is some answers, much as I'd love to know them, some of them aren't really worth losing her sanity over. We'll
Sure.
we'll find the technology to find those answers later on, and maybe then we won't actually have to hurt anybody to find that.
you don't want to hurt people to find answers? Man, such nice people.
I don't remember why I'm here.
Aren't you? Wait. Actually, I have no idea what you are, actually. I've never seen your kind of creature before. What is this your pet?
I am no one's pet. I am their
I mean,
friend out. They kidnapped
At this point-
me. There you
at this
go.
point, the only thing I know about him is he keeps referring to himself as a
I'm a
Kenku.
kenku.
Whatever the heck that is.
Yeah, look at me. This
It's like,
this marvelousness. This is what a kenku is.
do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
That narrows it down a lot because most birds don't talk; they tweet.
Just
He's
like
also very
looking up to the
big
sky,
for
just
a
like
bird.
parrots, crows,
Okay.
ravens.
A parrot and crow can fly. I have already stated I am unable to fly because I have hands. Not
So
wings.
it's a terrible
Hey.
bird.
You could.
I'm barely hearing.
I mean, he's done some pretty darn chaotic actions in the
we're
past,
here,
but I
it's just-
really don't think
yeah.
he's particularly evil.
I do what I think is best for me. Mainly because I don't want to die, thank you very much. I have,
He sounds like an interesting bird.
I have someone to look for. And or not, they may be dead, I don't know. My brain is a mess.
Well, I would say best of luck, but you ended up here, so your luck's not going great.
No, I think it's going fantastic, thank you.
He looks quizzically at you.
I'm not dead. You kept me from dying. And I got to see what a Molotov does.
He kind of looks at
I
Ellie.
think,
Is he psychotic or just stupid?
yes.
A little bit of everything and a fun-sized body.
All right.
Oh, by the way,
Hmm.
random question. What languages do you know?
What languages do I know? He kind of looks up for a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Many.
Alright, well, you're the first lead I've gotten. Just see Bill just reach into his bag, pops out the very old flask. Down the hatch it goes.
Oh no. Oh
Oh
no.
gosh.
Well, roll me a con save with disadvantage, please.
Woo!
We're gonna have another
Oh
drunken
my
bird.
god.
Both of those were a 5.
I really wanted you to have that 5. It's just like nothing but 5s. It burns. It burns like you just threw a torch down your throat. It burns like you just lit a Molotov and then ate the fire as it burns down your throat. You are fucking... You are hammered by the time it touched your tongue. You are beyond hammered by the time you swallowed. By the time it hit your stomach, you are just 7 ways from Sunday.
I'm white girl wasted.
You make alcoholics wish they drank that much.
Okay. Tell me if you know this one, Chief.
The fuck happened to him?
Bill starts trying to speak Celestial.
Well, roll me advantage with. Roll me advantage. Roll me intelligence with advantage. And we're going to ignore that -2 because of how it is. All right, that's an 8. You are in. You're speaking Celestial like a drunkard walks out of a bar, slams their face against the floor, and speaks English with great difficulty. It takes him a minute. It really does. You're speaking. I even know what you're what words you're speaking. It takes him a while as he's just staring at you, absolutely unbelievably confused. And there's just silence aside from you speaking. It's a very specific and interesting way of speaking, but he just kind of stares at you. And he's just like, "Is that no? Is that no? No. No. How? You... What?
Yes. You know that.
Hey, don't look at Ellie. How the hell does your bird speak Celestial?
Excuse me? He speaks what?
Honestly, news to me, but yeah. It's a special
What?
group.
I've spoken it before.
Your bird is speaking the language of the gods. Who taught him? What
I
is
mean-
he?
He
Hi.
can speak the words of a god. I can talk to gods. Honestly, it fits the group. That's all.
Screw them. They're not worth anything.
I deeply hope you aren't having him actually speak to God. Can you speak to gods? Have you spoken to a god?
I feel like I shouldn't answer this. Ollie, should I answer this?
Honestly, would probably sound crazy either way.
Bill.
All right. Well, I can talk to Paylor and Shard.
Talk to
Bill.
both.
Last I talked to a person that was able to tell auras. I have another god's presence within me, possibly taking the appearance of me.
Oh.
So I have a little aura around me of them, and they've changed my appearance.
You're
What
god touched.
they were,
Oh, that
so-
makes sense. Is he
Yeah,
a
so I'm
god
told by my mom.
touched?
I honestly have no idea. I think he just speaks it for funsies.
Just
Yeah,
don't like walk over to Bill, grab him by like under the arms, and then violently shake him.
I really wouldn't do that unless you want half of that alcohol down your shirt.
What do you want?
Are you a bird?
I don't. Above game, I don't think he's a magic 8-ball.
Thank you.
I gotta figure out what Kanku is. Wonder what your brain is like. Do you have a spleen?
I used to.
Ah, wonder what your liver's like. If you die, can I
no.
slice you open?
No.
Doc, I think we should let you to get back to work. We'll be making our way out of
Wait.
here. Just like grabs Bill
Wait.
and slowly starts to try to leave.
Bill had the question, but he can't remember the question. He knows the language. I need to ask him something.
Well, let me see if I can jog that memory. Slap! Just
time
like
to be
slaps you across the face.
What a time to be out of lesser restoration.
Good morning, sunshine. Bill says hi.
Alright, what's the question, buddy?
See, here's the problem. I can't remember.
No, I thought my magic remembrance hand would work. Will it help
All
if I
I know
jiggle
is
you?
that there's something really important about that language that I can't remember.
Well, all right then. Well, if you ever figure out what you're forgetting, feel free to come on. Actually, don't come back here. I'm going up there eventually, so
Well, if it
you won't
helps.
find me back here.
Well, if it helps, Bill. If that is actually the language of the gods, I'd wager some sort of cleric probably would have some sort of idea about it.
Bah!
Oh, I'm sure if you talk to a god, you may piss them off enough for them to tell you, or you'll just piss them off.
I ain't worth nothing anyway.
Honestly, with how today went, I wouldn't mind taking a nap. I'll just ask Paylor.
Yeah.
Might want to set up a watch out there. Honestly, I could do with some time to prepare my tools and.
Don't worry, if there's any
concoctions for the
ghosts or
morning.
ghouls that decide to come on by, well, actually, I have no protection against ghosts and ghouls, so you're on your own.
I can burn it, I can melt it, and I can poison it. I don't think any of those things are going to be exceptionally effective against the undead.
Nah, if you shout at a ghost for long enough, they can't go away.
I think it's more likely that you just run out of air and lose consciousness, and by the time you wake up, the hallucination's gone.
Listen, can Bill remember an actual question he has, but because of background reasons, would be very hard for him to remember?
Roll
Since
me
he's so
intelligence.
very hammered.
DC 14.
Okay. Normal or disadvantage?
Normal.
Come on, Bill. No!
I mean, it's right in the back of your mind, but it ain't coming back.
I'm taking a nap.
Well, unfortunately, my hand of remembrance did not work against your little bird friend here.
At this point, I'm just under the mindset that the fact that it also didn't seem to make anything particularly worse is probably more of a success than it probably should have been.
Yeah. Well, take the successes you can get. I'm probably gonna make my way up after you guys at some point. Things are getting exciting up there, so I haven't seen that town in at least kind of looks at his wrist. There's obviously no watch there. He's just looking at his wrist. Many years. Wonder if it's new.
Well, at the very least, on the way back up, keeping an eye out for random chests. I cast Thaumaturgy on one and it grew fangs.
Ah, you found one of the mimic colonies.
Colonies. It was just a singular
Yeah.
chest, though.
Oh, that's kind of how they trick you. You see, you get close enough to it, and then, yeah, the wall behind you turns into a mimic. There are several.
I just thumbed probably towards a random room that has its door open and just let him just watches it just quickly slam shut. I just did that to a chest.
Effective. I hadn't actually thought of doing that before. Well, if it helps, you likely won't encounter any more of the mimic colonies, unless you decide it's a good plan. You could. There's a couple of them around. Seems to be a very big area for mimics. I don't know why. A lot of adventurers died to them. They have nice spleens, though. I always leave the spleens alone. I don't know why. Some of the livers, too. That might be because they're alcohol drenched.
That's morbid and a lot more about their tendencies than I would have wanted to know. You know, I'm gonna go outside. Hey guys, meet me out there when you're done.
He just looks at Ellie. So, would you like to learn more about the mimic colony's desire for spleens or lack thereof?
Unless it's an answer of who, which god decided to bless me with this curse, I'm gonna follow the doctor. I think he needs protection.
Well, I can tell you one thing for absolute certain. I have no idea. I'm not kind of one of those people who put much faith or attention into the auras and souls of other people. They die, I collect the bodies.
Actually, where did you come across this? What to call it? Just
Sickle?
the sickle.
I came across it a long, long time ago. See, I used to be part of this wonderful venturing party. Me, an orc, someone, and someone else. I don't remember those other two. But it was me and an orc a long, long time ago. And we found these 4 items. There was a bow, a sword, this wonderful sickle, and, sorry, she's bouncing at the moment. Sword, a sickle, a bow, and he kind of pauses for a second. I don't know what the 4th one was. It was something.
It was a human.
A human? Nah,
Was there a gnome and 2 elves in the group?
no. I don't actually remember who was on the group. All I know is we had an orc friend at the time. He was my good
What
friend.
was his name?
Hell if I know. I haven't seen him for... He kind of pauses for a second. Like, his entire body stops, and he just kind of stares at a wall. For like a good 10 seconds straight. Just absolute silence. For a very long time. Anyways, we were part of this adventuring party, and then we went our separate ways. Yeah. And now I'm here.
Interesting.
Yep. One of my friends, he had a particular thing about people's auras and their souls. And he also liked to experiment with drugs. I was not as fond of experimenting with drugs. I experimented with people. And arms. And legs. You want to see me break that guy's femur? I mean, he's dead, so really, it's not that impressive.
I could watch you break the femur if you tell me more about this drug friend of yours.
Oh.
He might be connected to the circuit.
I have no idea what the circuit is. But he makes drugs. And then he left. He said, I have higher things to explore. I have more stuff to deal with than dead bodies. I control people. And people feel drugs. And drugs feel people. That's the last time I spoke to him. I think it was him. Might have been her. Anyways, they left. I've been on my own for a very long time. I like being around people. He walks over to the dead body on the table and grabs its is the femur the leg? Ah. He grabs its leg
Yeah, I was
portion.
gonna say, I think the femur is like a part of it's like the bone in the very knee.
Ah.
Or it might have been the elbow. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Don't know my anatomy as well as my character probably does.
Yeah, I don't know mine at all. So he like grabs the femur region and he just kind of snaps it in half with a very unpleasant sound. Ah, there's a bubble in it. It could have
That's
exploded.
unnerving.
I took care of it.
That's unnerving considering the femur is the hardest bone in the body.
Yeah.
It's that thigh bone.
It's the thigh bone? Yeah. He just
Yeah.
casually snaps it in half.
Well, that's enough snapping and crackling. I gotta go.
Well, you guys have a wonderful journey.
I'll see you up above.
I will be somewhere. Wherever there's drinks. Man, it's been a long time since I had a drink. He kind of looks at the leftover blood in the bucket. Maybe. Tempting.
Yeah. I heard
I
drink.
recommend alcohol before blood.
Yeah,
Here.
you're right. I'll go find an alcohol place.
Hey, wait. I heard drink.
I'm just now starting to remember just how many Molotovs Bill still has.
Oh, hey, crazy dude. Hey,
Uh-huh.
here. And he hands him the old flask. I'm pretty sure there's a name on it.
He kind of grabs the flask.
I don't
Hi.
know his name.
Yeah, that is a name.
There's
What?
nice stuff in there. Give it a drink if you're thirsty.
It's been a long time since I've drunk. You know what? I will. And he just like puts this to his lip and downs the entire rest of the container. Oof.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I see you again, if you come across that name, let me know.
He just kind of is like, oh boy, it's like drinking straight acid. I'm amazed you're able to contain this.
If there was one thing I would taught, it was how to hold my low liquor.
Kind of hands you back the container. Don't worry, I hold my lungs too. And walks back over to the body and lays his head down on it. My best friend.
Okay, I'm gonna go. You have fun. Bill just stumbles out of the room as best he can. Probably knocking into more than one wall.
Dunk, 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 dunk. You hear the doctor call out after you. Don't forget to close the door. Goose
But
and ghouls
the
are
cold
not
wind
nice.
is so nice. Probably like 80 degrees.
I won't
downstairs.
be friends with my friend buddy here for a second.
Tango, what if I figured if there's a myconid colony down here, it'd be cold and humid?
Yeah, let me cut out.
Ellie's very done, apparently. Yeah, so you guys getting back, got some more information. You are now, Oliver, fully capable of understanding the material of the poison and such. In theory,
Oh.
with like a day, maybe 2 days, you'd be able to craft a cure. Assuming, of course, that you find out whatever that kink in the oh my god, word.
The blood.
Yeah. The elements
I
or
mean-
whatever. Yeah, was.
I mean, I'm probably when Bill comes out, he'd probably just like find me just currently setting up my lab supply. I was just out in a random corner far enough away that I can see the entire building perpetually.
Bill's just gonna stumble his way away.
Just like mixing in the liquid elements with probably the base of the ingredients. No, I wouldn't even have. I don't think I made the comment of tracking down the. I don't think I made the comment of tracking down the material that binds it back. Cannot even remember the term I used for that.
I don't quite recall.
I'm just gonna call it the binder.
Yeah, the
I'm just
binder.
gonna call it the binder.
I don't think you went to look for the binder, any of the binding agent yet.
Yeah, I still need to go find a binder then.
Yeah.
So I can't work on this right now. Dang it. Okay, I'm just gonna be flipping through my notes to try and figure out what the binder for this concoction would be.
Yeah, the blood does not smell good whenever you uncap it, but it is indeed blood. It's also one weird thing you noticed about this blood is that Oof. Yeah, it's not very hidden. As you are now actually taking a closer look at it, there's blue particles inside of the blood.
Blue particles. Now that sounds like something that needs a diagnosis. Too bad I can't do that for anything other than infections.
Yeah. But that
I really
might
need to
be
get-
what the weird twist to it is that weird blue stuff in there. So.
I need to get my evoker or his lens fixed. Just simply so I can cast Identify.
So, Ellie, as you come out of the building, you still see Mashruna asleep on her little snail. You see Oliver frantically looking through his notebook, and Bill being Bill. I don't know quite what Bill is doing as he is drunk off his ever-loving ass at the moment.
He probably flopped next to Oliver or kind of behind him, and is probably just like, he's being a drunk. He's garbling random nonsense, and just he's gone. He probably's gonna pass. He probably passes out randomly for about 30-minute intervals, wakes back up, garbles some more nonsense, probably goes into his bag, looks for his bagpipes, holds them above his head, plays a small tune, puts them back in his bag, and passes back out, and he just does that on repeat.
Yeah, so Ellie, that's kind of what
Yeesh.
you walk out into, just staring at is that.
Yeesh, I'm gonna have to go and prepare. I'm gonna have to prepare a few different concoctions than normal.
It,
Just bother yourself.
it's looking like we are gonna have to head back up and take a break.
Honestly, I'm starting to think we might just be best off to just rest here and take a watch.
That could work. I mean, I saw there's plenty of tables.
Probably a good idea. Let's see here. I think I'm just going to grab a. Are there any like small mushrooms in the area around me?
There would be a couple, yeah.
I think I'm gonna wind up grabbing one.
Okay.
I'm going to wind up using this thing for one of my first. Crap! What the heck are these things called? Is it a magical? Yeah, I'm going to use this for my first magical tinkering item.
Ooh, what's that?
I'm going to make this thing into a glowing cube.
Ooh.
Over the course
You
of the
also still have some weird plants slash flowers you picked up from Mercy before we left.
Oh, that's right. I never made those into. Oh wait, those were going to be your heat resistance potions. I still have them just as regens for heat resistance potions. I still need to make those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess Sin did give me permission to make 5. Or was it 5 or was it 2? I think it was probably only 2. 2 per rest.
Two per rest? I think I let you make 3 per rest, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I will make both of those, and then I will prepare both of those fire resistant potions
Nice.
over the course of the incoming rest, assuming we are resting here.
I don't think Bill's moving.
Bill is just
So
like
it checks out.
Bill's checked
Yeah,
out. He's mentally checked out.
I'm sure it would be okay for us to take a rest here, especially since Bill made the sober man no longer sober after 10 years, so.
So you guys take a long rest. Mashruna is just conked out on her snail. It's just a happy snail fellow. It's just there. It's just chilling.
Over the course of the rest, I'm going to change out my prepared spells as well.
Okay. Yeah. Bill's taking a well-deserved mostly nap, and Ellie,
Yeah.
you get to probably check off another day on your pain and suffering that you keep enduring.
Do I get any visits?
Yeah, during the night. Yeah, I forgot about that. So as
My bracelet is
it
off.
is off for the first time for a
So-
while. Yeah.
Free of the bracelet, do I get a stern talking to for not communicating for like a week?
Yeah. So as Bill is taking a well-deserved nap and Oliver is switching out his spells and doing a little bit more notebook and mushroom building of potions and stuff, you get very well-deserved sleep as you are passed out. And you hear in your head as you wake up to, once again, a very black and almost inky terrain. You're very used to this, as this is usually where your waking sleep hours take place. And it's pretty much sheer darkness. But you do see, out of the corner of your eye, a small shining light that slowly gets brighter and brighter until the entire room turns to a bright white. And you see standing in front of you, Paylor. He's standing there, suit, tie, his general attire of just like business, formal. He's wearing, nice little suit. It's almost like a more modern day, kind of suit than you would find ever inside of an area, this medieval times, as he's just kind of staring at you, glasses on, looking down at you, as he is still a foot taller than you. And he just kind of looks down at you. He's like, "You disappeared."
Yeah, kind of had to save a small town from a goddess that likes to steal people that were abandoned or orphaned or just alone. So I had to wear a bracelet
Equality.
that apparently stops all gods from tampering your brain.
Aye. That must have been the goddess equality. Interesting.
Yeah, she took someone very special to me. So she went down pretty quick. Honestly, happy she's gone.
Aye.
But yeah.
If she had gotten much bigger, then I and Shar likely would have gotten involved.
Yeah, a friend of ours said that you guys would have, and that would have included likely killing the people inside the town she was controlling. So,
Well, the most effective way to eradicate such a threat is to eradicate every instance of it.
hence why you were not informed, and we got to it before you. So,
Well, if you were able to defeat a goddess, then your powers must be coming to fruition much sooner than I thought they would.
you want to explain a bit further? I've had a couple people say I have quite the aura around me, especially from you.
You're tied.
So, other than being able to talk to you, is there anything else I can do?
At the moment, no. If you meet the god of which you've been touched, perhaps more.
So you know I've been touched.
Of course I have.
And you've allowed it?
There's not much I can do when your soul has been tethered to another.
Do you know who the god is?
No, they evade me.
So you know nothing of this god.
No.
Interesting.
It is bound to your soul, a part of you of which I cannot freely see.
That's quite interesting. Other than that, we've been trying to find out about this drug that's been covering people in blue veins and later exploding. Do you know anything about it?
Little.
What can you tell me?
That which you know already.
Also, we came across a weapon that seems surrounded by death.
Hmm.
And our teammate did not want to let go of it and was claiming that it was demanding him to take it.
Just the one weapon?
Currently, yes, it was a
A
sickle.
sickle. Interesting.
Yes. The deep, dark depths of the slums.
Hmm.
Rarely people ever get to it before they die.
Maybe the fall shall rise again. Maybe they've had falls they have many time ago. If it's only the sickle, then it's not a problem, and it's not something you should worry about. If it is more than just the sickle, who knows?
Above game, I don't know if Ellie knows about the father's bow and arrow.
She's never seen it, no.
Or been told?
No. Yeah, I've heard about the sword, though. No, is Bloodtooth sword. The only things you've heard about Bloodtooth sword
okay, I
is
know
that
which one
it's
you're
a
talking about, yeah.
red, bloody sword.
Yeah. Other than the sickle, we've heard about this bloodied sword that's completely red and covered due to the amount of blood it's absorbed over its time of war that Bloodtooth wields.
Hmm. The Orc Chieftain. Interesting.
Is that by chance one of the weapons that goes along with the sickle?
Possibly. It could also just be a red sword. The sickle is easier to tell. The sword must be red to its very, very core.
No, that's what we've been told.
Hmm.
Just people assume that it's from all the blood.
Could be shining in blood. Could be made of blood.
What if it's the weapon we must be concerned about?
If it is that weapon, that means 2 of the 4 have arisen. And if 2 of the 4 have arisen, the other 2 are close behind. The power shall shift in ways uncontrollable, which means that this war, it will be an interesting one indeed.
What should we do to go about such a thing?
Do you wish to stand between 2 gods' wars? Do you wish to stand in the way of those who may bring such power, such pain, and such terror down upon the earth that everything in their waking ways shall be destroyed?
You mean what you guys done for years repeatedly and it's still continuing? What do these weapons do against you?
These weapons do nothing to us. These weapons are simply a consequence of our actions. These weapons, their owners, are the ones who follow our destruction and continue it ever longer. This war shall be heralded by the calling of those weapons. And those weapons arising now means that this war will end our battle, one way or the other. They do not rise until the end of a conquest.
Okay.
Not the sickle, at least. The sickle comes at the end.
Do you know about the last 2 weapons?
One is a bow. The other? It changes with time. It is the only one that fluctuates. Its owner is the only one of the 4 that doesn't change. And its weapon is the only one of the 4 that does.
Do you know of the owners of these weapons?
No. It's not my fault he's an asshole.
Oh, I'm just trying to think of questions to go. Cut corners.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions you got for him? Oh wow. You do
don't
feel a
like
little
that.
snake tail wrapped around your foot.
You son of a freaking piece. No.
You see him look down for just a moment before looking back up at you. Wow. Relatively down and up.
Is Shar coming to visit?
She does not have enough power to visit in her full form as of right now. That, he gestures to a very small snake wrapped around your foot, is as much of a force as she is able to present. You are inside of a place that adheres between the darkness and the light. However, you are still in my territory, my terrain, which means that she can only exert as much force as the darkness around you allows.
Ellie's gonna pick up the snake.
No, pet the snake?
Pick up the
Oh.
snake.
The snake curls up in your hand and just simply stares at you. Has the same feeling as Shar, most definitely. It gives you a cold chill down your spine, and her eyes are definitely following yours. So she at least is seeming to understand everything going on.
Going to ask the snake.
The snake does not respond. Just kind of flicks its
It
tongue
can
out.
nod.
It does not.
Mm. What are the four symbols of the weapons?
I have this in a Google Doc that I should have pulled up a while ago, but didn't.
Assuming they're connected to something if they're involved in the war and such a great deal to you.
On. Where is? That's not it. D&D. There you are. Shifting. Thoughts. There you are. The four icons. Is a sword, a medallion, a bow, and a scythe. The medallion has a symbol of scales upon it. Judgment, you could say.
Okay.
He just kind of continues to stare at you with a very monotone face.
And what about the others?
And what about the others?
The others are as they're shown. The sword is of itself a symbol of the power, as is the scythe, as is the bow. The bow is usually accompanied with a circlet, but it is not always. As I said, the only one of the four that changes its owner, the only one of the four that doesn't change its owner is that one with the medallion. The other three move with their weapons.
So the medallion doesn't change owners?
No,
So you should know the owner then.
I've never met the owner. Only Shar has.
So do you know where the owner is?
No.
Does the snake know where the owner is?
Unlikely. These four have now arisen for almost as long as we have had power. They come only during moments of true and great strife, when something is going to change. The last time that they appeared was when we became at a standstill 200 years ago. Is that all?
I'm so done. Anymore.
She's dying, by the way. Aw.
So,
What if the weapons weren't part of the war? Would that affect
the war at all?
I do not know. Nah.
Do you know what Oliver is studying? There's a part that he's stuck on.
A disease. He
Yeah.
messaged me
Yes.
about it a long time ago. Couple weeks.
Yeah, there's a part that he's stuck on. Just a twisted component, it sounds like. Something that doesn't make sense. Just this one last little piece. Do you have an idea?
Do you know where it came from?
Where the disease came from?
Aye.
Not yet.
That is likely where your answer lies.
Likely outside of town, but someone brought it here.
Hmm? What was that?
Likely from outside of town, but it was brought here.
By what?
Based on... Considering it's something that makes people swell up and have blue veins and explode, it must be a controlling factor.
Could be.
And based on what other people have stated, it doesn't correspond with the other named drugs. And the other drugs only stall out. The other drugs only make it sooner of a reaction
Mm-hmm.
than it's meant to be. So it's definitely not something meant for here. And the other drugs for the slums make people happy-go-lucky, depressy, or hungry. And this isn't. This is something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something outside of this region.
That sounds correct.
What is the power of the amulet?
The power of the amulet is unknown. The owner wishes for hunger.
What was that?
The owner wishes for hunger. That is all that is known. Hunger of something.
So he could be the cause of how the slums is running.
Possibly. He could be 1,000 things. I do not know.
Well, if he's wanting starvation, it'd be somewhere that has lack thereof food and is under a high societal place.
True.
That way it can spread and have an unlimited source, especially corresponding with a disease that is passed by blood
Hmm.
that he wasn't expecting. So, starvation is key, but wasn't expecting to have a disease added in that doesn't make people starve but kills them faster.
Sounds like you're back to square one. Where did it come from?
A disease that interrupted starvation but not quite killing them, but helping them survive in a way.
From the sounds of it, the disease definitely is slaughtering all those it interacts with.
Well, if there's... Do you have any answers of how this war will be?
How the war shall be? It will be a slaughter of one side or the other.
What if neither side show up?
He raises his eyebrow at you. Oh.
Just hypothetically, have you ever thought of the chance of just like only two people appearing? No army.
If the armies do not fight, then the standstill continues, just as it has for the last 200 some years. The battles decide the outcome. The lack of battle simply continues as it was.
So there's really no stopping the war without your guys' influence being involved.
Potentially. If you stop the war right now, in 100 years will the war continue?
I mean, you did bring up that this war seems to be of a greater change, and the weapons seem to be appearing. 2 of the 4 weapons are appearing,
Aye.
which means there's a greater change to be expected.
Aye. The war itself has no final outcome as of yet. Both sides could die, both sides could survive. Who wins between me and Shar is also yet to be decided. There is no victor predetermined.
Even if there was a victor, I'm sure the war would still continue, right?
It's possible.
It's more of a war between you two and not a war between races.
If the war wins on my side, I create eternal paradise. If the war wins on her side, she creates eternal freedom.
You guys have been going at this for 200 plus years? I'm sure there's been points in time where one side was more of the victor than the other.
We have been at the same standstill for the entire time. We have the same powers, equal and yet opposite. There is no success between the two of us. We have fought each other personally. We have attacked each other. We have laid decimation to lands between each other, over and over and over again. There is simply this battle. This battle is how we conclude our own fight, because we are simply at an impasse. I cannot damage her, and she cannot damage me. Therefore, we use these proxies. Perhaps you, if you wish to join one of us, shall be our proxy, our champion, and then the other will choose their own. They will fight, one will win. In either case, one side will become the true victor, and one side shall succeed, and the powers of the other will be given. there is no success as of yet. We do not have all the power. But soon one shall. This battle grows weary on both of us.
Okay. Well, it'll be
an
an interesting turn of events, I'm sure.
Indeed.
Shall I let you know if any of the weapons appear?
Aye, it'll be interesting to see it lay down. You aren't planning on interrupting this battle, are you?
A war is a war. There'll always be interruptions, even if it's not I. That's all. But I'm pretty sure it's time for me to get up. It's nice talking to you again, though.
Well said. It is always nice to have your company, Eleonora. Wake up. And your eyes immediately snap awake as you are greeted with the, once again, darkness of the cave of which you're in. Probably hyperventilating. You do see Oliver sitting over, probably working on something or reading his notebook, I imagine, eh?
Something like that. Honestly, he just simply, for the sake of it, I'm half tempted to just simply say that he's currently just shaping what it looks to be some sort of cube of wax.
Cube of wax.
So I'm gonna tell Oliver everything.
Fair.
How long was
The best of my ability.
How long was she asleep for?
Probably about 6-7 hours.
Would Bill be awake?
What's that?
I wonder if Bill would even be functional.
You know what? Roll me a con save.
I mean, to be fair, you technically only need 6 hours of rest to get the full benefits of a long rest.
That's true.
Yeah, but he was also extremely intoxicated.
That's fair.
You are kind of functional. You're not having a good time. It feels like you just went on binger for like 2 weeks. But you are functional.
It almost sounds like you're explaining it as if it's a war that neither side can win. But if that's the case, then why bother conflict at all? Seems like it's just bloodshed for the sake of bloodshed either way.
That's what it's sounding like to me. And as stated, there's 4 weapons that could cause an effect in the war. There's a bow, the sickle, amulet, and the sword.
And I assume the sickle is the one we just handed off to the doc.
I'm assuming so, because it had such a presence to it.
Oh, I'm not exactly in the mood to go back and get it.
Have you by chance had any other weapon take an effect on you? Like it did to you? Because I had no reaction to the sickle, but you clearly did, and the sickle is part of the 4.
All it did was demand that I grovel.
Well, that's still a reaction to what's seemingly simple weapon, but apparently it's something very powerful to a god and to a war that hasn't been a thing in the last 200 years.
Just like looks over at the greatsword. Do we count weapons that have a level of consciousness and simply desire to be used again?
I honestly don't think so, because none of us had a reaction to it. Not a sitting or kneeling or groveling at it.
If you count
It
the
wasn't an
fair.
overwhelming power.
That's fair.
I
I'm
mean,
honestly thinking the sword that Bloodtooth has is one of them that we were told about. His
Do
great
we?
red one.
Do we? You know if it's a good idea to even pursue these weapons?
Do we ever have an idea whether it's safe to pursue anything at this rate?
I see your point.
So I'll ask again. To our knowledge, we have 2 out of the 4 weapons. We're missing an amulet and a bow and arrow. Have you seen either of those that have made you react in the same way or similar as the sickle did to you?
Just thinking back before looking at his own pendant. I strongly doubt this counts before putting it back in his shirt.
can Bill ask a question?
What's up?
That may seem really dumb. Why are you trusting them to begin with?
It's more of a trusting by moment.
Maybe it's Bill's headache. Maybe it's something else, but why? What's the point of knowing where every weapon is? Or who holds them?
Because it seemed to of some kind of importance to Paylor. And when something is seeming of importance to someone, they keep an eye on it. And they make sure to know where it's at, what it does, and it has some kind of effect to things, connecting to them. That's why I trust in the moment that we need to find out who has those weapons and where they are at.
And you're touched by these spooky,
I'm touched.
powerful creatures.
Yes, I am touched by God that neither Paylor or Shar know of, nor can they find out who.
Would
But
it
their
be
life
more-
is tethered to me.
Wait, there's a third deity in all this?
Apparently, but we probably won't find out more about them till probably we get to the God Hole. Honestly, that's where Ezekiel said I might find out more about this other God that's tethered to me.
Hope is anywhere near as bloodthirsty he is the other two. This is gonna be chaotic as crap.
Yeah.
If that were the
Bill's-
case, I don't think he would have tethered their life to me and changed my appearance. Honestly, if they're killed, my looks will probably end up looking more like Rowena than they are.
Can Bill point out something that I don't know if it's smart?
Honestly, go ahead.
Bill, I don't particularly know what's going on in the world, but those names ring a bell. I don't think you should be looking for these other weapons you're talking about.
Okay. I mean, we have found one already, technically.
Then that should
And
be
you even
enough.
handled it yourself.
Yeah, and if memory serves correctly, I didn't want to let go of it.
Yep.
Bill, do you know something else about these weapons that we haven't figured out yet?
Bill kind of grabs at his clothes for a minute, kind of awkwardly. Bill can't remember things. Something's wrong. I'm not very smart. But the fact that I keep having something
Perception
not
check on Bill.
You are welcome to roll. I think that'd be an insight, wouldn't it?
Some
Is there insight?
some untold truth has to be on him.
Is there an insight roll? I think there is.
I've already tried picking at Ollie this whole time.
Yes. Feel
hasn't
free to roll
worked.
me insight on Bill. Do-do-do. You can tell when he says that he's forgotten something, it makes him profoundly, uncomfortable, the fact that you've forgotten something.
Yeah, because since he's a Kenku, Kenkus don't forget. Even if he's
Mhm.
dumb, he still has that trait of a Kenku is that they
Mhm.
don't forget things.
Yeah, it makes him profoundly just uncomfortable, the fact that he can't remember wherever it is that he's forgotten. He's 100% forgotten whatever it was based on what you can insight, and it is not happy. It's not a good thing that he's forgotten it. You can feel from him.
Hey, Oliver,
Huh?
are you still able to detect auras?
I knew I should. Oh, wait, actually, I do. I should have some lens. I should have enough
Something
lens.
is blocking Bill from remembering something about the god. Just a memory of any sort. He's being blocked off from it. I want to know if you can detect anything possible, even in the slightest.
Hold this. Just hands you the wax cube as he just gets his glasses off and starts rubbing the lens cleaner on them.
Nice.
I'm going to start preparing and detect magic as a ritual. Also,
Yeah,
the cube in your hand is now probably slightly glowing.
So it takes
Actually,
about 10 minutes.
I'm just gonna flat out hand this over to you.
Okay.
Send to play here, Eleonora.
Nice. So you just hand her the glasses with lens cleaner on it?
Oh no, I was
glowing
handing her the
cube.
glowing
The
cube.
glowing cube.
Okay.
Cube. Blah, blah.
I already went ahead and wrote
This
in
is
its
quite
description.
intriguing.
Mhm.
I already wrote in the description for it, and you're free to use that as you see fit.
Nice. But yeah, so it takes about 10 minutes. You finish doing the glasses cleaner, and you put it back on, I assume.
Yep.
Okay. I would say, ooh. Actually, I'm not entirely sure how this would be flowing. What are your thoughts, Bill?
I mean, it is technically you know what it is technically that could be magical
Mm-hmm.
in nature because it is something that is not of a natural variety, is of a magical variety.
Let me
So in
send you a
theory,
PM real
someone
quick.
yeah, it's kind of hard to distinct.
There we go. So hold on just a second, folks. Gonna leave you hopefully on a little bit of a cliffhanger here, because I love me some cliffhangers. Oh, that's true.
How about
that's
no?
True.
How about no?
So I'm gonna There we go. Maybe that. The secrets of the people.
Do 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 do.
Cool. So as you're looking at Bill, you can still see that same tether that everyone else has seen before. You can see that Ellie has that pure gold aura that has a slight bit of gray tinged into it, and then under that is a silver aura. And then you can see with Mushruna, it's a much more grayish, blackish aura. With Bill, on the other hand, Bill, give me a color. Give me a color you think would work.
Given what he is as a bard of a college of spirits, I would probably give it kind of a ghostly green color, honestly.
Oh yeah, there you go. You see a ghostly green aura kind of wrapped around him. It's weird because it's like not quite the same level of around him as is for Ellie. His one seems to be almost fluctuating a little bit. And as you look up a little bit, because Ellie's one tethers straight up, same with Mashruna's, and it seems to connect them to their gods. His one goes up a little bit and then sharply gets cut, as if like a clean cut on the very top of his tether. It looks like it has been blocked or cut off by something or another.
That's unusual. Just like says, looking up towards the cut of the tether.
So I was right. You can tell something's off. What do you see?
Well, yeah. Have I told you exactly what it looks like for you, or when I look at you specifically from a magical standpoint?
No. I've been told about my auras, but nothing much than that.
When I look at somebody that's been touched by God, they seem to have some sort of tether that connects to them, drawing straight towards the sky. My assumption is that's connecting you to the deity in particular. When I look at you, I see two tethers, one of golden light and one of silver. When I look at Mashruna, I see a dark gray one. Bill, on the other hand, I see a fluctuating green one that goes part of the way up before being cut off altogether. That is not something. A green one, and one that's cut off part way. Take a look. I just hand the glasses towards her.
She can, in fact, see that it is indeed sliced off above his head. Almost cleanly cut, almost.
So he's either God touched like me, but the God is cut off from being a god?
I can't say I know much about divinity to give an answer to that, but I'll bet it would be something that's worth checking in a library later on.
Because if it's going, seems to be going up, but is cut off, and Paylors and Shards goes up without an issue. So he's God touched, but the god could be dead, but the tether's still wanting to go up.
I will note that when you look at Oliver, you do see that same golden aura around him as well. And to the best of your knowledge, neither him or Mashruna are God touched. At least no one's commented on it.
Can Bill see the glasses that you all, so that
Yeah,
Bill
here.
understands? Bill kind of
Just so you know, I'll have about 2, maybe a really light third aura on me. One's Paylor, Shar, and a very faint silver one that's a mystery god that touched my soul.
Okay.
Ollie will have a pure gold one because of Paylor. Mashruna will have a grayish black one for sure.
As Bill kind of looks at everyone, interesting. He's gonna look down at his own arm.
You do see a weird fluctuating green on your arm as you look at it.
I don't.
Anything come to mind seeing yourself?
I mean, are we sure this isn't just magical power?
There's a possibility, but
I mean, it could be for you.
I mean, to me, the color at least. Your colors give off the people that have touched you, right? But
Well,
I've
only a
fun-
shade of mine is touched. I don't know about the others. It could be just connection by religion or where they were raised.
Maybe be raised as a bit better given his color's golden, but everyone seems to hate him. As he points to Oliver.
It's more of a racial thing as to why people hate him. It's based on his appearance, not for who he believes. I don't hate him, but Ruino is taught to hate him. Many people were taught to hate him. I never met a tiefling, but I like this tiefling, so.
But the color reminds me of spirits, I guess. But something feels wrong. I don't know. I don't understand. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Take your time. If it's a spirit thing, a god thing, or whatever, it's really hard to understand.
I don't know why, but I think we should be careful. The weapons themselves are one thing, but if you're having direct contact with these beings that are bloodthirsty, I have an unshaking feeling that maybe it's not such a good idea to search out any of these weapons. Because even if sorry, if I'm... There's stories I was told, stories that I do remember, of people learning things and then doing really bad things because of that knowledge. If either one of them get a hold of that knowledge, that where these powerful weapons are, maybe they'll do really bad things with them. I'm not a good person. I'm not going to pretend to be. I'm doing what's keeping me alive and what I think is useful. That weapon scares me. Not in the way of, I think I can't handle it, but in the way of, I think I realize that it's not something anyone should hold.
Well, we won't actively seek out the weapons then. We just have to be aware of them, as I said. We at least need to try to be a step ahead of the game if we want the sword to be any level in our favor. So we won't actively go after the weapons. As seen, it looks like Oliver, it's just not something we want to deal with.
Some knowledge we're just not meant to have, especially at the moment.
There's a reason things are told in stories instead of just given the straight facts. That's something I was always taught.
Oliver, I will say, roll me an intelligence check real quick. There's been one other item that you've encountered with that has made you have the similar feeling to the sickle.
Okay.
Yeah. When you met Ruina's father, you had the uncontrollable urge to kneel in front of him. That was the only time you've experienced something that has been that powerful.
Well, I might have more bad news.
Well, I'm all ears.
I may have encountered another one of the weapons. It's currently held by Ruina's father.
Oh, well, that's delightful. Honestly, by the sounds of it, I never liked the guy anyway, so I don't think of him as my dad, so, okay. Mom's great, though. What weapon was it?
It was a bow. I assume it was a bow, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Okay.
Of course, it just had to be a bow.
Why do the most bloodthirsty individuals always have the flashiest weapons?
Well, based on what I was told by Mumsy, he changed once he had a hold of the bow. And based on what Paylor told me, the owners of the three weapons, that's not the amulet, so the bow, the sickle, and the sword, always change owners. And so it's clear that the weapons hold some kind of power to them, based on the fact that Bill was being controlled by it and was demanding him to hold it, and the fact that Bo changed the dad anyway, changed him once he got a hold of it, based on what Mumsy said. And the Dr. Mortis brought up that a buddy of his adventuring group also had a bow, sword, but he doesn't know. Well, okay. He knew he had an orc companion, and each of them had 4 weapons. And he remembers one of his buddies being all about diseases and controlling and blah 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 blah. But they've all separated. I'm assuming.
Specifically, his buddy was about drugs.
Yeah, his buddy was all about drugs, all the fun drugs. My wild guess is that he might be related to the circuit thing. That's my guess. And possibly Dad was part of the group. Mom was part of the group. I know that because she brought up that she was in an adventuring group with Dad and Grandpa and an orc. And it's just all connecting together that these 4 weapons were attached to this great adventuring group that worked together, and then they separated to each side of the continent. And once they got a hold of their weapons, they've changed.
So hear me out. What do you think would happen if you soaked these things in alkahest?
I mean, I'm honestly really curious what would happen if we destroyed them. That's one less factor to the war we had to worry about.
Just points at her exactly what I was getting at. Just like pulls out
Any thoughts, Bill?
pulling out just like the last couple of ounces of alkahest before just like dropping in like a tiny leaf into it and just letting her just watch it just like turn into a fluid in like a couple seconds.
This is concerning, yes. Yes.
Well, we have about 4 months till the war starts. 4 months to try to get the orcs to stop, or the elves to stop. And hopefully these weapons still factor in.
The perspective I'm looking at things from, starting to see him like stop one side, the other side just going to destroy everything,
So
regardless of which side you stand on.
So why not stop both at the same time?
We would have to split up for that, if there's even a way to stop both sides at the same time. Because both sides are also influenced by the gods. So the war will either continue, even if both sides are dead, but they mostly base their victories on either the elves win or the orcs win. So at this point, lesser of 2 evils, we'll have to get rid of both factors at the same time, or stop both factors.
How do we do that?
Go to the crater?
We could check out the crater, the god hole,
I don't have very
and
many.
see how many gods are willing to step up. Find the one that is attached to my soul even. Maybe secretly they're pretty powerful. They're just waiting.
Oh,
Because no matter what, the gods will have an influence. And if the elves win, well then Palor takes over. If the orcs win, well then Shar takes over. If we get rid of the gods, then what's left? I mean, there's still the trained hatred of each other, but they won't have that strong of feeling toward each other, of anger toward each other, just like how Rowena stopped wanting to kill you as much when she wasn't in Helios. That Palor influence made her, once Palor was gone from her touch, from his reach, or whatever, she no longer had that anger, per se, toward you. That influenced her to hate tieflings because you're from Shar's side, mostly. So, what happens if you get rid of the gods?
Aren't they usually aspects of reality itself?
I mean, I'm able to talk to them and they can interact with me physically in my dreams. I had a little snake curled up in my freaking hand last night, and that was Shar. She was so little because Palor wouldn't allow her to allow her power to reach over, to join in the conversation.
Not even allowing the other side their own ability to discuss and debate.
Nope. Shar stays on her side at Cataclysm. Palor is Helios. Ryotao is when they both talk to me. Because it's gray zone.
I suppose, but it almost sounds like two squabbling siblings shoving each other out of the one room.
And so we need to put them in one giant shirt and get them to get along or to disappear.
Let's kill them both.
You want to kill a god? How?
I mean, we've already killed one god, so...
Did we? We destroyed their connection.
We killed a minor goddess, technically.
We destroyed their mortal coil, but from the sound of things, somebody else was the one who killed the god.
So we can hire Ezekiel on our team. I'm sure he would love to go see the god hole with us. Though, hopefully, the gods he's killed there aren't wanting to kill him.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, we're talking about these two. Like they're squabbling siblings. Well, if they're siblings, then punish them like siblings. If one does something stupid, i.e. cause a war, that they both participate in, they both die. Yay! Bill has no concept, by the way, of what it means to kill either of them. He hasn't thought that far ahead.
Oh boy, this...
Right now, our lovely storyteller's cackling evilly.
I love it.
To be
I love
fair,
it so much.
Oh, so random thing. If there's a spot that they both have no control over, wouldn't that mean that there's a middle ground one keeping them apart? That, or they don't have enough power to take over the area fully?
I didn't just click in my brain that my aura is gray and then there's a gray area.
Because, like, one of them's pure light, one of them is pure darkness. How do anything grow?
And there's a gray area.
Yes.
Who controls the gray area?
Maybe that's what the...
So... Go ahead.
Maybe that's the influence of the god pit itself.
Or maybe it's the blood of those that have died in the war screaming out for revenge.
Fucking love.
That would be the lovely stretch of blood that's on
Top of Ryotao.
top of Ryotao. But what if there's a god controlling Ryotao?
Maybe.
That's why they don't have much of an influence.
But what would that god be, and what are their intentions?
I was only
They
half
are
kidding.
just sitting back. They're sitting back and watching.
But what do they
Because
say?
I'm God touched. There's a God attached to my soul. And it changed my appearance, tucked away. And Palor cannot access my soul to see what or who this God is. Shar can't do anything to this God either.
Do you think if we offered it something to drink and a snack it'd come out?
Trust me, I have had plenty of drinks in my time. This God doesn't talk to me. I didn't even know they were there until Ezekiel saw my aura and told me. I know nothing about this God. All I know is that they got attached to my soul, their life is attached to me, they changed my appearance, and here I am.
Sounds like
Nothing more, nothing less.
Sounds like we really are going to have to go and stop by the archives on the way out.
The archives and a God hole.
It's gonna be a fun time.
Oh yeah. If you guys are interested in seeing that fun time, seeing what's going to happen when you put two squabbling siblings inside the same area, and or bring Big Daddy Big Boy into the area and give him a big old boot to the head, who knows what's going to happen with these fine adventurers and their following fellowship of death and destruction. You guys have found so far, or know of, 3 of the 4 supposed items that are currently present that will bring about a great change. 2 of which have shown over great amounts of power flowing over you guys. And soon you may head into the God Hole, a place that all the gods supposedly come out of and go back to when they die and are birthed. Whether they are birthed as the originals or birthed as something new, no one quite knows. And Ezekiel, your best friend fellowship member boyo, he has murdered gods before, many times he has said, and he is willing to help you out again if you so make it worth his time. How you gonna make it worth his time? I am simply not sure. But if you guys would be interested in seeing what they're going to do to make him actually interested in what they have to offer, come back on the 16th of December as well as the 30th of December as we continue this fantastical fictional story of heaven and high water as we see you guys there. And go check out Vods of Valhalla and Tables of Doris if you guys want to see the other VODs that we do and the rest of the series. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
How many more times are you going to shove me into this gravestone? Alright, I'm getting in again.